everybody, it's gonna be Bridget here with 2 T's and an E at the end, and I'm not from Guilty Dear. And now I'm finally in high definition. I initially bought a new webcam because I was like, wow, my girlfriend needs a new webcam and I'm moving away soon. I should just get a new one and give her my old webcam. And I did not realize just how insane the quality difference is. This looks so much better. Plus, you can see the boy now. Anyway, enough about that. I wanted to make a part 2 to my trans tips for Euphoria video because the first one went absolutely crazy. And now that I actually seem like I have a chance of making money on YouTube, I'd like to try to make more videos, I guess, just more consistently. And I also just love entertaining you guys. So here we go. If you haven't done it already, probably watch the first video before you check this one out, as that's a bit more full than this is going to be. But I'll try to make this a decent runtime, but not too long like last time. And I just hope you enjoy. Alright y'all, so this first one's going to have me standing up. And this is because of leggings. Leggings are super comfy, they feel great, they look great on like everybody, and a lot of people like them, and they're also pretty cheap. But I know a lot of women who are hesitant to wear leggings because of tucking being an issue for them, and I have a solution to that. Now, I know I'm just wearing kind of like a crappy band shirt or whatever because I'm at home, but you can add a nice skirt onto your leggings to make a really cute outfit. And you can really have like whatever you want up here that just looks a lot more appropriate for the occasion. And honestly, it looks great. I think having a skirt on just is a really nice flair to an outfit. And it additionally just prevents the issues of like, oh, what if somebody sees this? What if the tuck becomes undone? What if tucking is really painful for you? This just fixes those problems for you. Plus, you get to do a really cute outfit. Now, whereas the last tip is a lot more directed towards trans femmes, these next 2 ones are going to be a lot more genderless in how they are. This first of the 2 is just going to be writing your name down, just on paper or anywhere really. And I just really like to do this because, you know, especially if you're in the closet or you don't feel safe or aren't safe, unfortunately, to, you know, tell a lot of people like in person or hell, even online if it's that bad. Sometimes it can just make you feel a lot more real and valid just by writing your name out there. Sure, you might be the only person to see it, but when you put your name down there like that, it puts you in, you know, some sort of physicality. Like you're in some capacity out there. And it just personally makes me feel a lot better. Even though I am nowadays out to people and everything, it just feels nice to have it down like that. On to the next genderless tip is more about affirmations. And I'm sure that you guys know all about affirmations, but they really are important. You know, everyone says that whole thing about like fake it till you make it. And it could feel a little disingenuous sometimes because sometimes you really feel like you are trying to fake it till you make it. And it just doesn't work out. But we become what we feed our brain. And if we're constantly feeding our brain a lot of really harmful things, like saying like, oh, I'm so ugly, or, you know, in my case, it would be things I'm insecure about. I would be like, wow, my voice is so masculine, which it probably isn't. Or, you know, something like along those lines. Eventually, you say it enough times to yourself and your brain starts to be like, yeah, that's true. So by doing the opposite and just telling yourself things that you really should be hearing about yourself, it can really do a lot to help you. Of course, this isn't going to be applicable to everybody, but, you know, for trans femmes, you could typically say like, I look pretty, or I look cute. Transmascs maybe like, wow, I look masculine, or I'm kind of getting like big in like my arms and whatever. Or really whatever feels right for you for your type of presentation and your type of identity. Just whatever will make you feel more right and good in your body. It's tempting to sometimes do a lot of very self-deprecative, I don't know what the word is, but we're gonna say unaffirmations. And, you know, say like a lot of mean things to yourself, but you're not a bad person for saying a nice thing about yourself. And as awkward and untrue and gross as it might feel, you really can get a lot of usage out of doing affirmations for yourself. This next tip isn't going to be for everybody, but I personally find a lot of enjoyment in just having trans pride about who I am and my identity. And this is one that a lot more people follow, so it's not really that rare, but I still want to mention it because, you know, simply just having things like your flag in the back of the room or whatever You know, everyone with their unironed LGBT flags, you know, the stereotype. Or, you know, something kind of cute like this little like Sylveon I got from like a Pride Fest. It's just nice. Sometimes it can feel really nice to just have these little reminders around you that just tell you that you're real and we've always been here and, you know, we're not going anywhere in the face of so much adversary nowadays. I think I meant adversity, not adversary. This next tip I want to dedicate to an coworker that I have that actually just kind of reminded me of it like 2 days ago. And that's just going to be going back and looking at like old media that maybe as a child you were never like allowed to watch, or, you know, like you kind of had to hide if you wanted to enjoy it. I was kind of talking to her about how I didn't really get the chance to view a lot of things that I wanted to look at as a kid. And she was like, why not just go back and watch it? Like, why not just go back and like watch these like, you know, princess movies or Tangled or whatever that like you kind of wanted to see when you were a kid. And it sounds so simple, but for some reason I really didn't think about it that much. Like, yes, I've indulged in some things that I've always kind of wanted to do, like my plushies back here, but I don't know how I never thought about that until she brought it up, and maybe you haven't either, so I felt like it should be mentioned. Next, I want to bring up having like a little like cute purse or just bag that you carry around with you. I got this during, I want to say last December maybe, at some really cute little Christmas mart. It's just a cute little bag. It looks really nice. And I just like to have like a lot of like little toiletries or just useful things to have on you, like no matter where you go. I have like nail clippers in here. I have like Midol medication, which is for managing period symptoms. I'm unfortunately one of the unlucky trans femmes that kind of gets like PMS. It has like mints in there just in case that's ever needed. I have perfume and cologne if a guy needs it for some reason. I have tampons in here just in case, you know, a woman comes up to me and needs one. That has been a situation before, and, you know, especially for trans femme and you are on HRT and you're more conventionally feminine, you're probably going to have a woman come up to you at some point and just ask you if you do have a tampon. And it's always just useful to have some just on board just in case. I have a whole bunch of shit in here and it looks so cute. I love it. You just hoist it around me like that. And I love it. It pairs with so many outfits. So that's another really good reason for fashion. But the utility it serves is also just really nice and it can feel really cool. Completely unrelated, but I used to have my little bullet lighter in there. But you're not really supposed to like keep it like downwards, like it has to be upright, and it kept on falling over. But just like, look how fucking cool this thing is, dude. Look at that, that's sick as fuck, right? I'm sorry. I know it's unrelated, I just really want to show off my cool bullet lighter. And then these last three that I wanted to go over are pretty obvious. I think everybody knows about these, so I'm starting to go quickly in a really quick bullet order, just to get them all out of the way. But I still feel like they should be mentioned, just in case somebody is missing one of them. First is just going to be shaving. It's really nice to just have a hairless body for a lot of people. And some people don't really mind the hair that much, but for me personally, I just really like to do it. And I know a lot of other feminine presenting people as well do. So just a nice recommendation. And if you're unable to shave a lot of your body because, you know, family or something is like, hey, don't do that, you still can get certain parts of your body that they're not going to see. You know, I'm not going to say it out loud, but you can assume. And you can just kind of take care of that area without having to worry about people policing you over it. That's just going to be nail painting, and I wish I could show you an example, but I work at a food place and my job destroys my nails instantly, basically. So until I go to college soon and I'm not working anymore, I'm kind of just rocking the normal nails. But you can do a lot of really fun combinations for your nails. I basically always do the trans flag with them because I'm a very prideful person. And just have fun with it. It can feel really nice and just, it's not really that expensive either. And then lastly, if your hair is really not cooperating with you that well, just kind of put up your hair. It looks cute. Just get like a scrunchie, get like a bow, whatever you gotta do. And just grab it. And I'd probably look up a different person's guide for putting your hair up because I'm not great at it. But you can just have it up like this. And it still looks pretty cute. And it's extremely cost efficient, you know, keep it out of your face, good for exercising. It's just nice to have your hair up sometimes like that. Okay guys, don't get mad at me, but I actually have a final secret last tip that I want to go over. And this is kind of just an extension of the whole thing about the eyes in the first video. That's just going to be talking about eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is a pretty cheap and probably the lowest skill entry thing into doing your eyes. I'd say like eyeshadow, mascara, eyeliner is probably easiest to hardest. I have no idea how to use this stuff, but even I think it looks pretty good. You can kind of see it if I like look downwards like this, or if I close my eyes. I just have like a cute little like pink and gold glittery one going on right now. And it's not a super big addition to your appearance, but it just looks nice. And it lasts a pretty good amount of time, and it's very, very cheap. And again, just being extremely easy to use. I mean, I literally still don't know what I'm doing, and it still looks pretty good in my opinion. It just adds to the appeal a lot for sure. And with that, that is going to be the video. I'm going to save a very long outro of thank you to just a little bit, but know that I appreciate all the new subscribers and all the people who comment and like so very much. You guys absolutely make my day when you comment on my videos, and it's just crazy seeing all the love that I've received lately. But I'll cut it there. I'll cut it there. If you want to see more of me, totally feel free to subscribe. If you like the video, a like is always appreciated. If you dislike the video, I don't know how you made it to the end and you're like, man, this shit sucks. But you know, you're allowed to dislike it if that is the case. And if you love my boy over here, Mr. Nigel, then you should totally join his fan club. I'll have a Discord invite in the description. And then lastly, I want to do a new video series where I take a lot of viewer input, just a lot of your guys' stories, no matter how big or small they are regarding trans women's. And I just want to hear what you guys have to say, and I'd like to comment on it and read it out loud for everybody. I think it could be a really nice way to just get more trans joy out there, and even if it's literally something as small as someone being like, hey, I like your hair, that's awesome. I would love to cover it and talk about it and just have a lot more positivity to share out there, because it goes without saying that times are not looking great right now. And the last thing we need, I feel like, is another person talking about how shitty the state of the world is, as appealing as it is to talk about it. So if you guys are interested in that, check out the pinned comment and the description. I'm going to have a link to the Google form, and you can just submit your responses there, and maybe that will be my next video. We'll see. But I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for viewing, and bye!